I actually can't believe that we live on this timeline. So, yesterday, while Vaush was about midway through, not even midway through, just starting his big charity stream where he raised like $300,000 for Ukraine while playing Elden Ring. Very frustratingly for me because I'm playing through Elden Ring as well, and I watched him fight. I can't remember which boss it was, but I watched him fight this boss for a while last night, and he just totally forgot that he could just open his crafting menu and craft some fire grease to put on his sword and do like twice the damage he was doing. But he didn't want to hear anything from the chat, so I didn't watch much of the stream. However, apparently, and I was here for this part, towards the beginning, people in the chat started freaking out about apparently J.K. Rowling had tweeted about Vaush. And I immediately thought, of course, this was a troll, a meme, somebody in chat just fucking around, you know? But then multiple people started saying, holy fuck, it's true. So I, open up Twitter and I look and, oh my fucking God, is it real? Oh my God. What you and your ilk failed to appreciate is how tediously familiar I am with your tactics. I had a violent ex-husband who used to tell me life would be great if only I'd comply, but you're making the same mistake he did. Women like me can't be bullied out of resistance. In response to some meme tweets that Vaush made, all J.K. Rowling had to do was shut the fuck up, and she could have been the most uncritically beloved, could have been almost uncritically beloved for like a century. Women be quieter and start apologizing challenge. True, and very good, a really good funny joke. And also, there is an ounce of truth to the tweets. Not the women be quieter and start apologizing challenge, but definitely to the J.K. Rowling could have just shut the fuck up and been uncritically loved. No fault here. But of course, J.K. Rowling is a TERF. Now, TERFs are, I think, particularly annoying as far as transphobes or reactionaries go, because what they do is they weaponize real issues such as misogyny, and they try to use the fact they know most progressives, especially pro-trans progressives, do in fact care about women and do want to fight against misogyny. They weaponize that against progressives, pro-trans advocates, in order to try to make them look, sexist, which is the last thing they want to, seem like. Which is obviously what's being done here, right? If you are watching this and you happen to be a conservative, like you're not really a big fan of feminism or whatever, it's not feminism they've got a problem with. It's this type of feminism. The type of feminism that is literally just predicated on hating men and essentializes having a dick to being a manly thing. And so if you have a dick, then they hate you and think that you're a predator that ought to be treated like a second-class citizen, which applies especially so to trans women. If you're like a conservative who thinks feminism is cringe or whatever, this type of feminism, the TERFs, this is the type of feminism that you should have the biggest problem with, because they are open about how much they hate men and think they're all predators. Here, maybe the trans community and like the anti-feminist types can have a little bit of an alliance over this, like a bit of agreement. Anyway, of course, Vaush replies down below, and then my lovely editor and content manager, who's watching this, probably editing it, replies with, can I get your thoughts on this? Transgender people over 4 times more likely than cisgender people to be victims of violent crime by the UCLA Williams Institute. Yeah, pretty fucking, based reply from Cherry. But of course, Vaush also replies with, listen, Joanne, you don't have to play the victim card when you're the advocate for taking away women's rights here. Trans women are raped and killed in men's facilities and want to keep them there, and you want to keep them there because of their trauma, or because of your trauma. Quit making your feelings other people's oppression. Very based and true response. Now, of course, J.K. Rowling is massive, overwhelmingly larger than Vaush, so while everybody did come out, or everybody who was willing to, did come out and support to drop a like on Vaush's tweet and try to ratio J.K. Rowling, that's not exactly the most realistic outcome, but we gave it our all. We sure did. 31K, pretty damn good as far as the follower like ratio is definitely better on this side of things, that's for sure. But with that said, What I actually want to talk about more so than this, other than the fact that, holy fuck, J.K. Rowling just compared Vaush to her abusive ex-husband on Twitter. What timeline are we on? Can we all just stop for a moment and think, holy fuck, this is actually happening? Because it is, and we are existing in a splintered off parody timeline of the real one. Anyway, with that said, I decided to take to Twitter because there was this trend I was starting to notice following all of this, shit unfolding, of people saying some pretty dumb shit about this. Now, J.K. Rowling is without a doubt one of the largest anti-trans advocates on the planet. She has massive broad popularity because she made something that appeals a lot to just the average person, but has gained infamy due to using her platform she's gained to spread anti-trans, hateful messaging, right? You would think that when an online content creator who's literally been dubbed a debate bro, who has the opportunity to epically dunk on this large public figure who's a transphobe, publicly. So publicly, in fact, that mainstream media outlets will no doubt be covering this interaction. You would think then that the vast majority of the left, or at least a significant portion of the left online and on Twitter, upon learning about this, would perhaps put aside their petty grievances they have with Vaush and, like the tweet, send some support, drop a comment below saying, hey, look how wrong you are. Here's a link to some thing citing how much more violence trans people face than cis people. Instead of doing something like that, what they decide to do is make memes and posts about how they're watching Vaush and J.K. Rowling fight, and as if they were both as bad as each other, rooting for just them to fight and watching from the sidelines. No support for Vaush whatsoever in this, which just goes to show to me exactly how much more people like this value dunking on the debate bro content creator that they hate so much, more than actually trying to push for the things they advocate for. Now, while dunking on J.K. Rowling on Twitter may not sound like that big a deal, I have to remind you, every time J.K. Rowling tweets something controversial about trans people, mainstream media outlets pick up on it, and at least a few articles come out. Now, a very popular political left-wing YouTuber has been quote tweeted, or I should say screenshot quote tweeted to, because she's a coward, has been quote tweeted by one of the most famous authors in the world who's currently undergoing a scandal for transphobia alongside one of the most beloved comedians in history, Dave Chappelle, who has echoed a pro-J.K. Rowling sentiment on the anti-trans stuff, when right now our society is more divisive than ever, and media outlets are looking at this, and everybody, honestly, is looking at this whole thing who cares about it under a magnifying glass. It bothers me that you get a bunch of people on the left who are unwilling to, at the very least, make our side of things look a bit better. Because as much as, you may hate to admit it, in this interaction, Vaush is representing the pro-trans argument, and this is going to get a lot of mainstream media coverage. And what you may not want to do is make the mainstream media, and thus everyone who is going to consume this story via that, think that the people representing the trans cause are sexual predators, especially if that claim is false. Because I went ahead and I asked on Twitter, send screenshots of dumb lefty takes on the Vaush versus J.K. Rowling thing for a video. This video, in fact. And, we got a good lot of them. Alien versus Predator. Oh, boy. Vaush being a shit human per usual. J.K. Rowling clapped back with an actual good point. Guess I will die. So here we have lefties unironically siding with J.K. Rowling even. Not even just doing the let them fight thing, but even siding with J.K. Rowling because they hate Vaush that much. Content creator who thinks that pedophiles should have access to child porn criticizes author J.K. Rowling for objectifying to Labour MPs refusing to say what a woman is. There, fixed it. Oh boy. That's just a conservative, I'm pretty sure. I think that might be a TERF. The way Vaush got screenshot by Rowling is actually a perfect demonstration of why guys like that are worse than useless in the struggle for the rights of trans people. Holy shit. Maybe if there was an overwhelming movement of people who agreed with the person representing the left in this case on 99.99% of issues to actually offer some online backup in what is possibly the easiest and most effective way for people online to get a message out, which is just getting together on Twitter and mobbing somebody. The media can't ignore that, the person you're mobbing can't ignore that, and the broader public doesn't ignore that. If the left, if these people want to get together and signal support for the trans community against J.K. Rowling in this one instance, it could have a serious impact, especially when considering the fact that Vaush already brought sort of his own little tray of supporters, you know, to the table to begin with, to like the tweet and get a lot of attention. And hell, it went trending on Twitter. It's still trending on Twitter. It's trending on Twitter with 12.7K tweets a day later, and Twitter had to give it its own caption and explain it. Like an intern at Twitter had to write this out because that's how much attention this is getting. Even a day later, content creator Vaush criticizes author J.K. Rowling for a series of tweets responding to UK Shadow Minister of Equality's Annalise Dodds? I don't know how it's pronounced, Dodds, comments about the Labour Party's definition of woman. Vaush is, here we have God Empanada, a.k.a. Banabanada, a.k.a. Banabanada's 11th Twitter alt account after getting banned for making violent threats. Vaush is just a neoliberal. Free trade deals lead to economic freedom and prosperity. NAFTA was good. The EU is good. This is a weird response. I don't know if this is even in response to the J.K. Rowling thing, but I guess just by the fact that it's happening right now, it is. Oh, here's a good one. Oh, I saw this one earlier and it almost made me consider doing what based God, or not based God, who is it? I don't know. Just cut that little bit out. I fucked up the meme. Anyway, low tier God. Yeah, wrong guy with the God suffix at the end of their name. This one actually made me want to die. There is no fighting here. J.K. Rowling just platformed Vaush. J.K. Rowling platformed Vaush because Vaush and Rowling are both on the same side, and she knows it. Rowling probably found and swooned over the clip of Vaush calling the LGBT community cancerous as fuck. Both Vaush and Rowling are transphobes who want trans rights to be oppressed. You know, sometimes I wish I could, like, peer into the mind of a certain person through the internet. But almost like the Palantir from, like, Lord of the Rings, I worry that if I did that, like, I wouldn't like what looks back. You know, the level of stupidity on the other side of this post might leave me permanently scarred, because I'll never be able to sleep again at night knowing that there are people out there in this world who are as ignorant and stupid as this person truly is, who are as empty inside their brains as this person is. It's very, very much a shame. God, I love doing non-stream segments because I feel like I don't have to worry about the chat getting triggered about whatever I say before making a joke. You know, I can just kind of let it out. And if you guys get triggered, I can just ban you from the comments section. It's great. Anyway, we get quite a few more, unhinged and ridiculous comments from lefties mad about Vaush, but with, you know, it's to be expected, of course, to be expected. The left is notoriously terrible at, coming together and actually defending its positions. And if anything is going to be the undoing of the left, it'll be this mindset, not this or things like this happening. It'll be the mindset that motivated this. That will be what brings the left to its knees, if anything. With all that said, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like. It helps out both the channel and the video a lot more than you even realize. And of course, if you want to see more from me on YouTube, consider hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video. Also consider following all my social media linked down below in the description. And of course, consider supporting me financially by hitting the join button to become a channel member, or pledging me on Patreon. There's a link down there in the description as well. My Patreon is about to get flooded with some good ass fucking content. We're about to upload episode 1 of a pretty cool series that we're doing on there. So if you want to pledge on there, I definitely recommend it because we are putting exclusive content up on there. So consider it. Anyway, no matter how you support me, thank you all so much for watching and have a good one.